All right, and with the press of that button, we should be streaming. Let me check
Well,
over here. That looks all right.
we should be getting a notification
Should be getting a
from the
notification on the
chat
phone.
that Bicky's watching.
Yeah, yeah. Chris Sabicki's watching. All
He's
right,
always
so this
watching.
should be
I
up and
always
running.
feel
All
like
right.
Bicky's
Yeah, I just
watching
got the notification,
me.
so we are indeed live streaming
Hey, all
our first
right.
attempt at doing Decadent Live.
Decadent Live.
Decadent
was
Live. Nice.
An idea
Yeah,
whose time has come.
Nice.
I think so. I mean, we bought all these toys. We might as well use them.
We.
I
Oh, wait, no,
bought-
I did buy one, didn't I?
You did, yeah. You
You
paid.
did
You
talk me
paid part of
into
it. Yeah, you're not
That's true.
completely out of the woods on
That's
this one.
true. So now I'm completely
So-
complicit.
That is so true.
And it's your house. So.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that is also very true. All right, so we are gathered for this live Decadent to discuss. I think I put it in the title. I hope so. Spider Noir. We just got done watching it. You know, it's only been out for a week.
Yeah.
The Amazon original series, yes.
And, you know, we thought we rather quite liked it. So if you're tuning in just off the rip, quite positive across the board.
Positive across the board, I would
Yeah,
say,
I
yes.
would say so.
Very much.
I enjoyed it.
The criticisms and critiques you'll hear can be basically relegated to nitpickery at this point, I think. But they
to a
are
certain
important
extent.
nits to pick.
Yeah, no, it's overall, like we said, a mostly positive experience. And as I said in my little short video, I think a lot of your takeaway will be based on how much Nicolas Cage you want in a Nicolas Cage project. And there's quite a bit of
There's
it.
a lot of nit.
There's a lot of it. And
Yeah.
they actually are very clever in that they write a reason in for the way he acts and the way he is and why he's so over the top. And I thought that was a very nice detail
It was a good touch,
that
yes.
they didn't have to.
I
they
mean,
didn't have to
granted, they
but
do
did
just
it,
kind of
yeah.
shoehorn it.
I mean,
they
yeah.
did.
It makes sense, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
well, if you're going to have him
They
going.
brought it in when they were doing kind of going back, looking at the origin story, because they said, well, okay, what happened?
Right.
You know? So when they did it, and then he said, hey, I lost all control.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I thought it was good.
So simple premise, you know, you've got Nick Cage as Ben Riley, I believe.
Yeah.
And he is a private investigator. He is back from World War II. It is World War I. It is the
World War I.
30s.
Mhm.
There's a Great Depression going on. So it's sort of like our world parallel.
It's got to be at least 1933 because she mentions King Kong.
Yeah, it's true. So,
Which was funny because when she mentioned that, I'm like, I thought this was taking place in the 20s. What is she talking about King Kong for? And then it was the 30s. I was like,
yeah. Well, there's depression and stuff like that. But like,
yeah. And they did say Hoovervilles, too.
They
didn't
did say
There were a
Hoovervilles.
lot of context clues. Maybe I should pay more attention.
and
Well,
you're-
I mean, I retroactively paid attention because I'm recalling it now, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose you are. But yeah, so he is a down on his luck private detective. He used to be a hero called the Spider. But when his fiance, well, not quite fiance, he was going to propose to her that night. Wouldn't you have it? Bad luck, people. She ends up being killed, and you're like, oh, it must be in retaliation for being the Spider, which I found a little weird because it was in retaliation for him being Ben Riley. If anything, you would
Yeah.
think that would give up the Ben Riley aspect and double down on the Spider aspect.
Yeah, you know, it's like, because I guess it's sort of like, oh, I wanted to be the man she thought I was kind of thing. You know, how people say, like, be the person your dog thinks you are.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
also, let's think about it. He's like, he gave up on the persona who could have done vengeance or could have then really lost himself in the inhumanity. You know?
Could have, but they kept showing the scene where he couldn't get to her as a spider, so he didn't want to be the spider.
Oh, because
Anymore.
he was relying on that more so to
Yeah.
try and rescue her, and that was
I
his
think
point of
so.
failure?
Maybe. Because they kept showing that one scene, right?
Yeah.
It was
Where he's reaching for her.
He's reaching for her.
Yeah,
So
maybe
I think it's just like in his psyche, the spider couldn't save her. I don't want anything to do with the spider.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
You know, and that's kind of a trope we do see, like, about the hero who retires and, like, what's it going to take to get them
Back.
out of retirement, you know. Actually, and that's one thing I respect about this show is, like, they really leaned into a lot of tropes, you know. They didn't really try to reinvent the wheel because they realized the secret sauce was, like, it's all of those things, but it's Spider-Man in the 30s. And, like,
Correct.
that's the hook. And we've got Nicolas Cage to do it. That's the hook. We can just use the tropes like a Raymond Chandler novel. Like, we can use superhero tropes. Like, we don't have to do anything crazy because we've got the secret sauce, and that's what people are going to like. So let's not get out over our skis story-wise. And I think they were very wise to do that. Yeah.
No, like I said, like there's a lot to it. It was just, as a matter of fact, that was the first time I thought about, wait, why would he give up being the Spider when it was, you know, Ben Riley who who was the failure because he was out cavorting and drinking, which he does a lot. There's
Yes.
a lot of cavorting and drinking.
A lot
in
of
this.
drinking, a lot of smoking.
A lot of
Yeah,
very
a lot of
very very cool stuff.
Very cool stuff, yeah.
Hey.
Well, you know, they really lean into that noir stuff, almost to the point of parody, but they do take themselves serious enough to not skirt that line, I feel. And they give
Yeah.
you just enough comedic release valves so it's not suffocating, you know, vis-a-vis the secretary, the reporter
Right.
friend, like basically the people around him, and then just Nick Cage being so over the top every once in a while too really
And
helps.
it's not like new. So I said in my short short little plug review for it that I said it reminds me of postmodern jukebox, in that it's a spin on something that's recognizable without being completely in the style of the original.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of gotcha.
Yeah, especially with some of the music. You know,
Right.
the music's a little.
They should have
monotonous
gotten
and stuff.
Puddles the Clown to be one of the villains. That would have been cool.
So, but
That
anyways,
guy's like 6'7" and he's a clown.
Ben gets tasked with following this, just who we think is just another random World War I vet.
Yeah.
He ends up finding him. The dude can, set himself on fire, self-immolate without recourse, and that's when they're like, "Uh-oh, there's other metas,"
Yeah.
Or well, what are they? This isn't DC. Oh, I swear,
Do they call them mutations?
I don't
think
know
they
what they
just,
would call
like,
them. Mute
I think they
freaks or whatever and
They
stuff.
called them supers.
They call them supers.
Superheroes,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
they
It's
call them
like-
superheroes.
They,
Because
they
they
refer
said
to
they
them
all
as
had-
people with superpowers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people with superpowers. That's what they were
So
saying.
that's-
I agree.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then of course more
Yeah.
introduced as
And
it goes on, which is
If
cool,
you haven't
know.
seen it, I mean, we're going to be spoiling it just kind of at our whim as the conversation takes us. I mean, like we said, we don't really have like much of a blueprint for these things. We just like to, this is what we'd be doing if we were hanging out in general.
Exactly.
So I was a big fan of it. Now, the timing is perfect because Dad and I have just been going through and watching a bunch of old pulpy stuff. Like we just got done doing The Shadow and The Phantom and The Rocketeer all over again.
Yeah.
So this kind of slotted in perfectly to what we were looking for.
Yeah, it really is that vibe. Not me though. I've been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation and the Fast and the Furious movies.
We've also been doing Next Generation. Don't leave us out of this.
yeah.
We are now pivoting to the Next Generation
Generation.
because I think we're all on season 3 now.
We're still in 2. We haven't watched it in a while. But
Yeah.
go on.
No, I was gonna say just like I think overall too. Like I guess my biggest nit to pick was like this is an 8-episode series, and I don't think they had enough plot for all 8 episodes. They really had to stretch out and retread a lot of ground to make it work. I think you probably could have cut it down. I mean, realistically, you could have done this all in a movie. I think,
but
to an
extent,
the thing is though, you're having so much fun watching these guys, you don't really mind. It's just then it just does make some of the plot points a little attenuated, and you kind of have to question a few motivations, especially like for the villains. You know, getting into a spoiler. You know, when Sandman recruits his buddy, not Gravestone, what Tombstone.
Tombstone.
yeah,
Yeah, when he recruits
Lonnie.
Yeah, when he recruits Lonnie, and he's like, all we have to do is kill Silvermane.
Yep.
And that it's gone. Nope, they never bring it up again. It's like, well, when are you going to kill Silvermane? And it's like, nope, not going to happen.
No,
No, that was the
Sandman.
Magesta or the Electro.
No. He wants
He
to.
wants
He wanted to kill him.
Sandman.
When Sandman is talking to Lonnie and he goes, "Let's get our share. Let's do that."
No.
When they're in the
by
theater.
working,
I thought he said to
for
take him out.
Silverman.
No, he didn't want to take- I don't think he
no.
wanted
He
to
was
take
so
him out. Sure?
his
Yeah.
loyalty to a fault is the reason why Cat's mad at him.
Yes.
I really
No,
thought he
no.
was
He's
talking
super
about taking
loyal.
Silvermane
No,
out. All right,
absolutely loyal
well,
to
then
Silvermane.
That's my
Yeah.
fault then for misunderstanding
he's-
what he said in that scene.
He's incredibly loyal
No,
to
the
him.
guy that wanted to take him out was the Electro guy.
Yeah, Megawatt.
Megawatt.
Or the
whatever,
conductor.
The conductor.
Should've gone with the
whatever his name
conductor.
The conductor was great when
So
the guy
funny.
said that. It was like, come on, man.
Absolutely loved it. But yeah, and
That guy's going to be the breakout star of this. He was just such a ham.
you
know?
think so? I
I
think
think so.
if we're gonna talk about things that again, and these are nits to pick, a bunch of squirrels are running around.
The squirrel literally fell out of the
Yeah,
tree.
it's hilarious.
Like, wow.
But I think his initial introduction as being as like grandiose and stuff like that, and then revealing that he was an aspiring actor,
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I'm okay with it. But he never lets off. Like he's always just that's pedal
Yeah.
to the metal. He never lets up. There's never more depth to him than that. You know what I mean? So of the 3 villains, he's the one who has the least amount of like 3-dimensionality.
He
He's just,
reminds me of Dynamo from The Running Man.
yes,
Which
is exactly
exactly,
Dynamo from The
yeah.
Running
That's
Man.
exactly. That's exactly right.
Everything short of having the musical number, really.
Yep.
Oh, it's true though. Yeah, no, he's just I think he had the least to do. He had the shortest screen time as well. And then, like I said, he just doesn't have anything else anchoring him other than like ambition and avarice, which is okay. I mean, you want those in your villains for sure. But I just think he was a little much. And
Yeah.
you know, I had a similar
I
problem.
don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. You know what I mean? Well, like it's hard to be that big when you're up against Nicolas Cage, who's doing everything big too. You know, so you got to be very careful. And you do see that sometimes, especially like in Nicolas Cage movies. You know, it's like, are you really gonna be able to match his energy? Or should we really be trying that? You know, because I don't think it's gonna work.
Well, in this one, like my father was alluding to earlier, when he was infected by the spider genes, he does say that he was losing his humanity,
Correct.
and that in order to put on the facade of humanity, he started going to movies,
Yeah.
and he
Yes.
started watching them and memorizing
Doing what the
them
actors were doing.
because they
Yeah, that's
speak.
why he sounded like James Cagney.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you
like,
know?
Yep, and doing various other
Yeah.
bits. And the show, to its credit, doesn't hit you over the head with it. We get one scene of him earlier in the show at the movies reciting the lines, and you're just like, he just likes the movies.
yeah.
And then like 2-3 episodes later, he's like, yeah, well, I had to go to the movies to remember what it was to be human, how to act human.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think we even needed that much of a flashback for him, where the army doctors are with him. You know, it's because it's kind of like, how did the army lose track of him? But whatever.
We'll find out in Spider Noir 2.
Oh gosh, you see, and that's the other thing too. That
That is kind of true because I agree I didn't think about that. You're right because he said I've been through this before,
Yeah, but how could they stop him?
but how could they? Yeah, but where did those guys go and how did they?
Well, if they do a second season, clearly he escaped from the army and he changed his name because
Yes.
Garrick,
Yeah.
Yes.
Andrew Robinson,
He
the
goes.
old
he goes.
guy,
He
he
said
goes, I would have
didn't-
come to you
I
sooner if you hadn't
shouldn't
changed your name.
That's right. No.
Yep.
So that's
So-
how he becomes Ben Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
so
why he's
no, that's
Ben
true.
Riley.
He is
Right.
definitely hiding. He's probably hiding from the military, and the military guy had a sufficient enough presence where you could see him being a villain
Oh yeah.
in the next one. You
Yeah,
know,
plus like the when they brought him back in like when he's freaking out when they're like, cutting him
because
open.
you know what they've got to explain more about the so where the superpowers come from in this particular series is in World War I. There was some German experiments on American POWs. And that's what gave, in this case, the villains all their powers. But Ben
Correct.
Riley gets his powers because he gets bitten by one of those POWs who's a Spider Man. And that's what turns him into Spider-Man or the Spider.
The Spider.
You know, I feel like Nicolas Cage did this because he thought he was actually going to be able to turn into Man Spider at one point, and then they pulled the rug out from under him. He's like, "Hey, Nick, baby, we know you said you could be Man Spider, but we're just gonna keep it to the normal detective stuff."
All that time practicing those spider motions,
Yeah,
and you never even
exactly.
got to use them.
That's kind of what I was thinking. No, so anyway, so that's how the powers are in this, but we don't know the German.
Right.
The German people who are running the lab. We
No, we
don't
don't.
know much about the American. I think he was a colonel, maybe that did the experiments on Nick Cage after he got his powers.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of fertile territory for a sequel, but it depends on how far back they want to look, as opposed to looking
Right, because they would have
forward,
to explain a lot of time where those guys weren't just running around New York.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Now, I mean, that's the hook. Now it's like now that they're all in the news and everything. Now the army can come to New York and start looking for him, I suppose. But here's the thing: like, I don't think this needs.
you mean to see they didn't know to go look for the wayward spider?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, yeah,
mean-
that's the other thing too. He had been the Spider for so long. That's a good point.
I think if you do the flashback, he has to kill all of them.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
He
that
does
would
talk
make
about
like
losing
he-
control.
he
We could
conf-
see that scene where he
confronted
where he
them,
kills
or
them.
yeah, that would make sense, I suppose.
and then
Could-
maybe some
then-
ghosts
then
of the past stuff.
Another reason he doesn't want to be the Spider. It's like, hey, the
Yeah.
Spider's brought nothing but death. So
Or he
I don't
thinks
think
he kills all of them.
I don't think they really need to do a sequel, but I mean they're probably going to, or like a season 2, I suppose. I mean it has more of a miniseries vibe.
Yeah, I would just leave it.
to it. Yeah, I think you just leave it. You know, I mean we never got Merlin 2 with Sam Neill, so
You
why
know
should
what?
we get?
They could do. They could just do
Spider
little,
Noir, too.
like they just did with Jack Ryan. Just do like little standalone movies instead of whole seasons.
They could do that.
All the heavy lifting was done in this
Yep.
one. So, speaking of things like about this again, because we're talking like nitpicks and allusions to other stuff, sort of roundabout. They really ripped off the ending of The Shadow for Cat at the end of Spider Noir, where it's her and Silvermane with all the mirrors. Only instead of like doing something dramatic, she literally has enough bullets to shoot every mirror, and
Yes.
then still has enough bullets to shoot Silvermane.
But not enough to shoot the conductor.
I know, it's so ridiculous.
Well, I mean, then
It's a lot
you
of
have
mirrors.
to ask though if that was intentional then, because this, like I said, this movie leans so heavily onto so
Well,
many
yeah.
pulpy and
Clearly they
noir
were
tropes.
referencing, like,
So
the shadow
they
and
must
stuff,
have been
yes.
referencing it.
But I think it would have been funnier, and this is just me spitballing. It would have been funnier if like they had the Hall of Mirrors and she shoots once and he's like, "Oh God!" falls over. Because I think that would have been in keeping with especially Silvermane's character, who steals every scene.
Yes.
Brendan Gleeson
Yeah,
steals
Brendan
every scene,
Gleeson's
and the
really
scenes with
good.
him and Nick Cage together. Oh my God, the two of them,
Which
are
happened a lot, actually.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
They did
got a lot of
so
screen
much.
time together.
and they're
That was
constantly
really
bouncing
fun.
off each other and stuff, and they were so good.
They really were, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought that was fantastic. It's just a shame that they kind of ran out of things for Kat to do so
yeah, they really
early.
did. And
you
then they
know?
do the whole, well, now I'll run off with you kind of thing, but not really. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
know
that got a little.
yeah, it got a little attenuated.
Yeah,
You know what I
it was
mean?
Like,
It's
okay, where are you gonna
well,
go?
and
with
then
it?
the
Which way do you wanna
audience,
go?
we're clued into everything Kat knows right away when she hires Nicolas Cage too. So there's really not a lot of suspense. Like, oh, is she going to betray him? It's like, well, not really, because it turns out the guy is a monster, and we
Right.
know he's missing. So like, there's not like really a twist here, I suppose.
Well, she's supposed to
You
be
know?
Black Cat. You know, she's supposed to be
Yeah,
the
she
Black
doesn't get
Cat
any
that toys
superpowers though.
I know.
Well, and that was the other thing too. When there's a part in the show where Kat confronts him. It's like, I want to see if you're who I think you are, and she falls out the
Yes.
window,
Yes.
and he pulls her up, and like they kiss, and I'm like, well, that's like the most unearned kiss I've seen in a long time. Like that was like
yeah, they kind of
Kylo Ren Ray
yeah,
levels
they
of
set-
kissing right there. I'm
They
like,
kind
why?
of they kind of set that up though. You could see at the very beginning when he first goes to the club and she's singing. He you can tell that
Yeah, he's
he is-
attracted.
He's
I
attracted
get it.
and enamored with her, and they give you the illusion that the way she's singing is somehow getting to him. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
So I could see that. I would think the kiss was more by him than by her, kind of thing.
I'm
That's
kind of
kinda
with you
like-
on that.
Maybe,
That's the way I
suppose.
looked at
She
it.
lured
is-
him into
and
it.
they came up there and
As manipulation.
and manipulation to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, the moment she has the opportunity to sell
No,
him
she
out
sold
to
him out.
Well,
save
you know what the thing
Sandman,
is too,
she
because
does.
then in the very, very end, she says, you know, there was a universe where I ran off with you. But here's the, I kind of believe her, but Nick Cage doesn't, you
Right,
know.
and
And
that's
I'm
all that
like,
matters.
I don't know. I think she would
Anything to
have.
get out away from Silvermane at that point.
and I see that's the thing. I
When
think
she
she
thought
was.
Marco
I
had
think she
abandoned
was
her, was-
so desperate, and not even that. Yeah, and well, she thought he was going to die.
Yeah.
too, because I mean, in theory, he was. Like it's at the
Absolutely.
time they knew that the mutation was accelerating and deteriorating them. Which makes you wonder too about like the old guy. It's like, what was his mutation? Like he was just getting older.
He was
That was
rapidly
it.
aging.
He was
Yeah, but like
rapidly
he didn't have
aging.
like a cool power.
No,
That
but think about
sucks.
this.
He was just
think about how
getting old.
useful that would be to grow an army.
Yes.
Oh, I
You know
suppose
what I mean?
so.
So
It's
like,
the
this is
whole
one of
clone
those
trooper thing.
Yeah, exactly. So and you know,
And hey, those Germans are pretty clever. I better watch out for them.
watch out for them. Trouble around the corner.
Spider Noir 2, World War 2. Oh no.
I mean, yeah. No, I was really pleased with like a lot of the aspects of it. I
I
thought
like the writing and the dialogue. See,
Yeah.
that's what kept me interested in it because it was quick, it was
Mhm.
quippy, and it all made sense, and people kind of stayed true to their characters for the most part, and that's kind of what you want to see out of your characters.
Yeah. And I appreciate that no matter how good all the secondary and tertiary characters are, and they are quite good, everything somehow still comes back to revolve around Ben Reilly.
Yep.
It is still a Ben Reilly show about him being the Spider in some capacity.
Yeah, you know, and it would have been very easy and tempting because the secondary characters are such strong personalities, they're so good that they could have given them like a bigger subplot or a bigger side story, and they wisely didn't. And I'm very happy for that because what was it in White Collar? They gave that whole episode to, was it Mozzie?
Mozzie.
And because Mozzie's an interesting character in the small doses, but when they gave him his whole episode, it was terrible. And I love the secretary. I love the reporter. But if they tried to do like a really big B story of like just those two, I don't think it would have landed.
I think Robbie, the reporter, got to do more,
No, he did. He had a
did.
good little
Yeah.
bit, and it was
especially
it was-
bringing
it was-
Lonnie in the fold.
It was paced well the
Yeah,
way they did it too.
slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's when you said like, oh, it probably could have been shorter. I don't know if it could have been shorter. I think it should have been cleaned up because I think the actual main story beats involving Ben and the war, and then the mom trying to experiment on him, and then how everything kind of. I think the main story beats for that, including at the end of what is it?
Yeah, I tell you
the
what, though,
second
the
episode?
geneticist really felt
Aw,
bolted
nah,
on though.
man. Now,
It really
well,
felt bolted
that is
on.
one thing because they had to explain where
They,
all the
I
other
know they
soldiers
did.
were.
They kind of had
So
to do it.
that's what they did is they explained that she had found them, but they were too far gone. So it was a good way to kind of wrap
They
everything
never.
up.
They didn't explain though why all of a sudden their powers started all happening when she was trying to fix
Well,
them. So
she presumably, the way I interpreted that, is she presumably tried some kind of treatment
Yes,
on them.
that was
And
my
then-
understanding
and
of it too.
and it
accelerated.
seemingly worked because obviously she did it on a bunch of them.
yeah,
So she must have done it like on her son, and it seemingly helped. And then she did it on a bunch of other people, only to realize, oh no, it actually accelerated things. Because
Yeah.
why would she keep doing it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think she was so desperate to see if one of them had the cure that she was so
Yes.
busy manipulating the others to find out if there was something that would impact her son that she didn't care if it accelerated their mutations.
Maybe that
And
too.
so, remember, what were some of the
Also,
things that
I
were?
don't think the antidote would have worked on Riley because it was
No,
made
we
from
also
his
said
own-
We
that.
don't-
We said that
it
too.
can't.
Now
But
that
also,
was
Dylan,
a great
the thing
moment
that-
though when the conductor
Yeah.
sticks because it ends up
Sticks
being
Robbie.
the reporter. So
Right.
it's like oh that was clever. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
that
So
was
you were
fine.
saying.
No, it's all right. So, when he sticks Robbie, it's really funny. And then they pull the mask off, and they're like, "The reporter is Spider-Man."
Mhm.
But now, keep in mind, what are some of the things that were triggering the super mutations to go amok? It was stress and strong
Yes.
emotions.
Mm.
Yep.
So, whatever they were doing was clearly accelerating the people, especially if you're becoming more and more inhuman. So the evolution of like Sandman
and that's
happens
true.
awfully fast in the show. It's only a couple days that he
Yeah,
loses
because
control.
You know what? They wouldn't know necessarily that it's accelerating mutation until they start using it, and everyone had
Correct.
to activate it.
And
so
they
yeah,
had to
that's a good.
activate it. And-
That's a good point. So when Sandman gets in the fight at the beginning, he has to activate it. Though I think she says something about
No, it had
how-
happened in the past.
Yeah, like it gets
Yeah.
worse every time.
It gets
and-
worse every time. So
yeah.
that's why, it gets worse every time. They're looking for the doctor. The doctor's aware of it. It's like
Yeah.
that whole thing. And I don't feel like they need to go too far in depth. I mean, ultimately, we are talking about something that's just kind of be pulpy fun. But I think they covered enough of their bases that it feels like it's substantive enough.
Yeah, and we got to see more of it than people
Right.
just sitting
We
around talking
experienced it.
about it.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Which would have been.
Not that people sitting around talking in the show is a bad thing. Their dialogue
that's
is
true.
is
It
was
very
pretty good.
good.
They definitely had the actors who
World
were able to
build,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of one of those things. You're showing us the characters by having them talk to each other, as
Yeah.
opposed to just somebody just sitting there like, well, and then this.
Yeah,
happened,
because I was
and then
worried
this
we were
happened.
going to get like the Star Trek insurrection scene where the Admiral's explaining why they can't do all the plot holes that would make the movie a lot easier.
Yeah,
No,
right.
they don't have enough time to move it. No, we can't harvest the energy. No, they need to make the deal now. You know
Yeah, all
what I mean? Like, he just literally ticks off all the reasons the movie has to happen. I was worried we were going to get that with like the mutation explanation, and it's like, oh no, it's a little more organic. And then, oh, I had another point that I wanted to bring up about the doctor lady, but it has since slipped.
Well, they had that.
Slipped my
The
mind.
doctor lady had that whole secret lab underneath wherever they were at.
Mm.
in
I
the-
think
the
we're going to
old
find,
bunkers.
if they do a second
And
season,
then-
I think that'll be secret Oscorp funding.
It could have been.
Mm.
But how many? But how many? I'm trying to remember how many canisters were in there. There was at least what 4 other.
Oh, there was a
Maybe like-
lot. There was like
4 or
20.
five.
We
It was a
saw
lot.
five,
Like 5,
pretty
was it?
clearly, but I
Yeah.
think they were
There's a
implying
whole
there was
bunch
a
in the
whole
background.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say there was like a whole.
Because they
bunch
were
of-
like,
Like
oh
how
my
many
God,
dudes
there's a
are in
bunch of
the? How many dudes are in the POW picture?
I think it's left purposely vague
Yeah.
for sequel bait. Also, I mean, they were smart in that they
Yeah,
really
they
just
can always
focused on.
Now
Yeah,
you can
they
grab
can
another,
focus on the
you can
same
grab
ones.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Not
always
everybody died in
retcon
the
person
explosion.
and,
Somebody's out for revenge
Yep.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Or the explosion freed one of them from the tank.
Mm,
You know? Like,
yeah. No,
I
it was.
don't know.
I really was impressed.
I mean,
by
there's
it.
no shortage of cool Spider-Man villains that they could plug into that trope very easily. They could do Rhino, they could do Scorpion, they could do Falcon, or not Falcon, Vulture.
I heard in the comics
know?
there is a vulture and he's like a monster.
Oh, so that's another question. Is this based off of comic, or
Yeah,
is
it's
it
based
just
off comics,
because
is
it
my
was
understanding.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Spider Noir, I don't think is that old of a character. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not much of a.
Yeah, see, and that's the other
it's
thing.
not
I
my
guess
thing.
To name my priors, I've just
Yeah.
seen all the Spider-Man movies and the '90s anime series. Never read the comics.
Well, I think
so-
he's relatively new. I think he's like
Yeah.
in the 2010s, possibly even.
Okay.
So like he's.
I mean,
not-
it's very much its own thing, and it's
Yeah.
going for it, you know. Which
No.
it's nice to see Marvel stretch their legs like that too, you know, because normally they're really kind of tight. It's like, no, everything's got to be connected and stuff, and it's like, well, this is just so its own thing. I mean, you would really have to bend over backwards to
Well, that
explain how it works.
it's a good thing they didn't connect it with a lot of this stuff that's been going on with Marvel, you know, because that'd be a detractor. I think that's what was so refreshing about this series is it was like a standalone thing. Didn't know much about it. I mean, honestly, when I saw it come up and said, "Hey, this thing's going to be out," it's a movie, right? And then turns out it's a 8.
Yeah, we thought it
it's
was a
TV.
movie.
We thought it was a
I
movie.
thought it was gonna be a cartoon.
We thought it was
you
a
know?
movie.
So, I mean-
they were like, it's a movie, right?
So, I think standalone projects like this give them much more ability to do good things rather than trying to
Oh, yeah.
shoehorn schlock in with something that they don't need, you know? So, because they're not having.
Stay tuned for our Decadent on Avengers Doomsday.
Well, there you go. That's gonna,
Speaking of
let's
shoehorning and
shoehorning
Yeah, right.
everything.
Yeah, right.
You know, hey,
Oh
we
my
got
God.
multi-universes all
Well, you know,
over the
and,
place.
and actually, you know what I'll even say in defense of Marvel? Like, these Spider-Man movies are probably still the best thing they got going with the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Like, I don't think they're great, but, like, when it comes to what Marvel's doing recently, I'll take those at least, you know? Like, I'm not going to dismiss, like, the new Fantastic Four movie. I'm not going to see that. But the new Spider-Man movie, I might see that, you know?
I
Yeah,
didn't
might see
mind
that.
the Fantastic Four
Yeah.
movie.
Actually, I did hear it was aggressively okay, so maybe I will see it. But
Yeah, it's the very height of acceptable
Yeah.
until the end, and then you're like, well, I'm already here, so
Yeah, right.
it's like, what am I gonna do?
But we went and saw that at the theater. We thought it was
Yeah.
good.
I don't
Thought it
mind.
was good.
No, I
but
didn't mind. But no, it's crowbar separation is well. I mean, it's Sony, not really Marvel. You know, that's always the thing we keep saying. It's
yeah,
like,
how long does Sony get to keep playing with Spider-Man? Like,
Oh,
we,
you
we
know.
saw that on one of the shows that
Yeah,
came up
there was
It's
a huge
there's
thing
there's
about
a
it, like,
there's
even
a
like 2 years
contract
ago.
thing supposedly that they have to have some form of Spider-Man thing going every 3 to 5 years or
Yeah,
something like
they
that.
can
Oh, it's like
And if
use
they
it or
don't,
lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't, they're gonna lose.
Well, that's how
it.
we keep getting those Fantastic Four movies, but it
Yeah.
seems to work for Spider-Man where it doesn't work for Fantastic Four.
You know, it's just one of those things, dude. And Sony is a completely different company than
Yeah.
you know, Disney Marvel.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
we'll
they seem to get Spider-Man and give people what they like about Spider-Man. You know, it's so like it's.
Well,
Actually, you know what's funny too is like Nicolas Cage isn't Spider-Man for a lot of this. You know, like
No, he's not. He's Ben
wears the
Reilly.
mask very infrequently. You know, which I thought was an interesting take. You know, so it was.
Well, yeah, because it's
He's
not
a-
really like how Spider-Man. Like I said, it's not
No.
how Spidey gets his groove back.
yeah.
It's how
Yeah.
Spidey begrudgingly picks up the mantle again.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Very begrudgingly.
Oh yeah, he hates it.
I'd still liked it when he had the chip on his shoulder though, when he went back into the bar. How do you know he's just not a regular person? You know, and maybe he's got some feelings too. And then walks out, puts the mask on. He goes, "Oh, he's going back in to beat those guys
Oh,
up."
I said it immediately. The moment he walked out and he pulls out the mask, I'm like, oh God, no.
He's going back in to beat him up.
Oh, I love it too when he's talking to the secretary because I'm the spider.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I should have said that. It's like, I know. And they do the montage of every time
Yep.
he's just wasted and he's just doing his Spider-Man stuff.
spider.
I'm the spider. Stuff. And I'm like, well, you know, what's funny though, the way they were playing it, I thought the secretary did know he was the spider. I got the vibe
she
she
did.
was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I guess that's true because she did, but I
Yeah.
was under the impression they were all in on it together and not that she knew secretly. But
It's kind of funny because like I thought that they were all in on it together.
yeah.
But I guess their double talk could have been her winking to him more so,
Yes.
and him just kind of like rolling with it because
Yeah,
what does he care?
yeah.
But yeah, no, the fact that they were all in on it was pretty good. There really wasn't like I said, not a lot of negatives, like just mostly nitpicks. And
Yeah.
like I said, if anything, you probably could have made it 7 episodes if you chopped out some of like the just like we said, the dragging out of Cat's story because it runs out of steam pretty early.
You know what the thing is too is like I just
which is
found
unfortunate because
like I found her to be like too sincere for the femme fatale role too.
Yeah,
It's just
almost.
like I'm like, well, I was like rooting for her and I believe
Yep.
her. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't seem that ambiguous, and that's
No.
kind of what you want in a good femme fatale. Is like that's where the fatale part comes in, right? And it's like it's just like yeah, but that's the thing. It's like oh no, I'm kind of on her side. I think she's telling the truth, you know. And there's just not a big twist. I guess like the biggest thing is when she does sell out Ben to the doctor, but I liked that
But
she did it out of love.
I know,
Out
but
of
the
love,
son
and
plays
she-
it smart where he goes, "I found you because you made it obvious," and then
Yes.
the doctor says, "Kate sold you out." It's like, why did you say that? Like, you had a perfectly good thing going
Oh yeah.
where he didn't even realize it, and why didn't you explain what you're doing to him? He might have actually helped out.
Well, so that's the thing
You
too. When
know,
he's
like
like, "Oh, I
there's
need
just
your help," and he's like, "No,
yeah, there's just a
no,"
lot
and
of
he gives him like 3
miscommunication.
times
Yeah.
to like kind of like
Yeah.
in desperation help him, and he says no, and then he sticks him.
Yeah, I know, and it's just like that whole thing. Like I said, it felt a little bolted on. I get why you needed, but that's the thing. If it wasn't that, it had to be something else. You know, like
Yeah,
I get
Yeah.
it.
no, I didn't
You
mind
know,
it. I don't mind. I don't want every episode to be surreal horror, but like you can do a little bit of the surreal body horror for the guy who's like feverish and strapped to the bed full of like drugs.
yeah,
You know, you
right.
can get a little bit, have a little fun with it, play with it, but I wouldn't have wanted it in every episode.
No.
Oh, I don't. Did we say this at the beginning that they released it in color and black and white? And just
Yeah,
for the
we
record,
didn't say
we're
that.
talking
Yeah,
about the black and white version. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's going to be a substantive difference in quality
I
depending on which one
Why
the
would
people
you
want.
not watch it in black and white? It's called Noir.
Well, yeah, and the character in Into the Spider-Verse is like black and
Yeah.
white, and that's why it's funny.
I
you
would
know?
I would think most people are probably watching this in black and white.
I would imagine. But
'Cause,
hey,
like-
leave it in the comments. Did you watch it in color and black and white, or did you watch it both ways? And which way do you prefer?
Mhm.
You know, that's one thing
I
I'll
only
say.
saw the
Mhm.
commercial for part of it when it came on.
Right.
It was the color, and it's like they said it was like you had said earlier, Dylan. It was highly stylized color.
Yeah,
or
it's like the
whatever.
old
It's gonna be
World War II.
Yeah, it's going to be. So I mean, some of the costumes might look pretty cool, but
I'm not really sure what colors they wore.
I,
You know?
I don't know. Well,
But that's okay.
Plaid's plaid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do with plaid?
Black
You
is
know?
black. You know, it's like,
So
but no, it's
And it's fine. I did say this in our group chat, but you brought up a good point. I found Sandman's powers a bit hard to read as
Yeah.
sand.
this is
And
funny.
then you're like, yeah, but you're watching on your shitty laptop. I'm like, oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think to blame my dirty
Yeah.
laptop screen. Maybe
Oh,
if I was
no.
watching on the projector like you know.
Yeah, the thing that I found so jarring, because if we are going to talk about like, because I thought Sandman looked fine.
I
thought-
like the actor too.
Oh,
I
he was
just really
great,
want to hammer
but-
home how great everyone is in the cast.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
he's-
we can get to the cast,
you know.
but while we're talking about how the aesthetics look,
Mm.
the one thing I didn't like was Tombstone's look. It was,
Mm.
and I can't imagine in color it looks better because what's he supposed to be, like a crustacean? Like, is he going to be vaguely lobster looking?
Yeah,
you know
the
what I
way-
mean?
'cause it
Like-
looked like
'cause
when
it
his
kinda looked
arm,
like-
yeah, it
was
was like chitinous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like-
very chitinous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
a
so-
crab,
like a
maybe
crab lobster
He was
man. So I was,
crabulous.
I just, he
It was
read.
tough because you
Yeah.
couldn't stab him.
So
Yeah.
every time I
that
looked
was
at
great,
him,
actually.
yeah,
when
that
they
was
were trying to give the
fantastic.
antidote, I was like, it's not going to work, and it doesn't work. It's like, oh crap. Yeah.
But every time I looked at him, I was like, man, somebody really wanted to make Killer Croc.
Mm.
You know, they just really wanted it to be. And this whole thing is very Batman feeling, which makes sense because if you're doing the noir pulp style, you know, you
Well,
start
it's-
with the Shadow, Bob Kane inspired by the Shadow, as they say, you know, to create Bruce Wayne. And then this one is kind of almost more of a Batman story to me. So sometimes even when I'm thinking about it in my mind, I was like, they have a lot more in similarity with Batman tropes than they do traditional Spider-Man.
You know what?
tropes.
It
Well, you're
felt-
going after the detective aspect of it too, because he
That's
was
true,
a
too.
detective
Yeah.
and everything else. Whereas it's not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man who's a kid running around.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
these
so
are all
you
the
have
these are all the
different
tropes too.
yeah.
You know that I mean from the genre that
you know what
come
it
to
felt
expect.
like to me? It felt very Schwartzweldian. John Schwartzwelder very famously wrote the most episodes of The Simpsons, and then when he retired, he wrote a series of pulp comedy novels about a private detective. I think the first was called like The Time Machine Made Me Do It or something, and it's very funny. And that's kind
I
of like
can't
the
read.
that's kind of like the vibe I got from there. It's like a dash of Batman, like a cup of Spider-Man, a pinch of Schwartzwelder, a little Chandler. You know what I mean? It's like they pulled from some great stuff to make this
Yeah.
work. You know what I mean? um, but you know what I would say though. But what's interesting about this, as much as we're praising it, I feel like it doesn't have a lot of replay value though. Like I feel like I couldn't go. I feel like I'm not going to watch this again. You know, and even
I
like for
don't know,
season 2
man.
coming out, like I feel like I wouldn't rewatch it to get ready for season 2. There's something about it that I don't think it has that rewatchability to it. I mean, maybe if you're like a huge Spider-Man fan and you're looking for the Easter eggs and the references, because I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I was missing. You know, but it's like, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good, but it's done. You know, it's like I couldn't see a reason to rewatch it per se.
What about you, Father? Would you
no,
rewatch it?
I'd rewatch it because I think there was so much going on in different spots. when I go back and rewatch something like that, then I pay more attention to like stuff like on the side of the screen and start looking at other things, not necessarily looking for Easter eggs, but how they put it all together and all that kind of stuff. And I think I'd probably pick up some more nuances that I missed the first time around. Because, I mean, we powered through it. We liked it. I mean, we started it and it was like, we're going to watch an episode.
Yeah.
You got another, you good one more? Yeah. Then next thing you know, we watch 4. And it's like, okay, we're halfway through. Good place to stop. We'll go hit it again and finish it up tomorrow.
And that's exactly right. And I think I would rewatch it simply because I can see myself wanting to watch like, oh man, I'm gonna watch The Shadow again, or I'm gonna watch The Phantom or something like that. And then like, I'm gonna put on a couple episodes of Spider-Noir just to kind of round out my genre viewing. Plus, I liked so much of the dialogue and interactions, especially between Silvermane and Ben Reilly, that like I could watch that and just enjoy listening to these people talk to each other because they're quick. Now, it's especially compared to a lot of modern writing that we've come across.
Oh yes,
this is whip smart compared to a lot of the crud we watch, and all the characters speak in their own voice.
Yep.
Obviously Ben Reilly speaks in multiple voices because he's supposed to.
Yes.
But everybody kind of does what you expect him, and nobody does like that moment where I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense, or like something that's like so plot breaking. You're like, why would you do that? There's nothing that's led up to it. So I think there's a lot of positives for me in terms of structure and dialogue that I could see myself. Now I'd probably only do like 2 at a time.
Yeah, maybe.
Exactly.
Or it's Now this is interesting, Dylan, because some of the nerds we watch on YouTube, they are constantly having this debate between binge model versus weekly.
Yes.
So,
Now,
do you think
what's
this
your
show
thought
is
process?
better because you had the ability to binge it? Or do you think this show would have a bigger cultural footprint, especially given the quality, if they had released it week to week?
That is a good question. And it's amazing, too, that they do, like, the episode recaps and, like, on the next episode. And it's like, you don't have to do that because you release them all. I'm just a fan of the binge model. Not that I'll binge per se, but I like having the option because if I'm watching something, I want to know what the time is. And I feel like this one, since it feels so much like a movie, since they're so core, like they're not interested in building the world. Like the world's already here. We're watching these people do things, and that's fine. So when we were watching, say, like Game of Thrones week to week, where there was so much going on, you kind of needed a little time to breathe every once in a while. So like binging Game of Thrones doesn't add a lot to the story because there's so many stories. But like Spider-Noir, it's very focused. So it is just kind of like watching like a 2-hour, 2.5 hour long movie, however long it takes to watch all 8 episodes. I'm not entirely sure.
6 hours would be my
Maybe
guess.
6.
So
But
45 times 6.
Yeah, a brisk 6 hours, though.
times 8.
Like I said, like because we binged it. Well, we didn't binge it. We did. I think we did 5 and 3 is how we ended up breaking down because we started it pretty early in the evening, and it was one of those things where it's just like, oh, I kind of want to watch another one. I want to watch another one, and then I think the 5th episode is the Doctor episode, and that's a good
I
one.
think that's 6, maybe.
Is it? I don't know. I think it might be 5th.
I thought 5th was when they caught him at the train station. Maybe
I don't know.
remember.
But it's either
can't
episode
remember
5 or 6 is actually a good place to take the break. Because that's kind of where the story starts to shift a little bit.
No, they catch him at the train station in 3 because it ends with them going to the I hope you're good with a shovel because you're going to need to dig another hole gunshot.
Oh yes,
and that's
yes,
what goes.
that was,
that's
that
what goes
was
then into
earlier,
episode 4 because we were like, we had just finished that one. It's like 7 o'clock, and now that's when he and I were doing like the side eye, like, well, surely one more won't hurt, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, surely one
definitely.
more. And so that's what we did. We ended up doing that.
I think they knew that too, because I think that's where we were said we were going to stop watching after this episode. It's like, oh, after this episode, and then that happens. Like, well, we got to watch the next one. It's like because either he shoots Ben, finds out he's the Spider, which could be interesting, or he's killing the other guy, which makes more into sense, and that's what that happened to. That's what I like about this is too, like. so often in media, like there's a chance to make like the dumb decision, like they make like the worst
Yep.
possible decision for your story, and like this doesn't do that. Like it doesn't necessarily make the best, in my opinion, every single time, but it doesn't make the worst decision, which I really appreciate.
Well, one of my favorites, and this was something as we were watching
I
it.
have to talk a lot while I pack and light my pipe.
Oh, that won't be a problem for us. One of our favorite moments actually was just how much consequence actions in this show carried.
Yeah.
Which we're not used to seeing a whole heck of a lot of it. As a matter of fact, the first time he gets back in his spider costume and he goes to yell at Silvermane, right? Actually has negative consequences because he prevents Silvermane from being arrested by the Sting.
Yes.
So then he's like, what have I done? So again, another setback for him thinking about being the spider. First time he puts the costume on, and he creates more problems when all of his problems would have gone away if he had just stayed out of it.
He gets hired on to find the mole.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
You know who I feel bad for is the other mayoral candidate that we don't get to meet. He's like, I don't actually work for Silvermane, guy. Like, I have nothing to do with these monsters. You know, it's like,
Just vote for this guy. Vote for this
I
guy.
swear, I have
swear.
no idea what's going on.
There wasn't necessary.
I just wanted to reform education and cut taxes. I have no idea what these monsters are doing. I don't know why they wanted to vote for me.
No, that's really funny.
I think like his name was like Hudson, and you never meet him, and
No.
it's just
never
hilarious.
saw him.
Yeah, because
Didn't
they
even
robbed
see
the other
it,
candidate and they're throwing
Yeah,
his
and
cash
he
out on the
goes,
street.
vote for Hudson, you know, and it's just like I feel so bad for him. Like that's hilarious. You know, it's like the old Graves situation. You know?
First of all, Dylan, that wasn't real either.
it's real to us, damn it.
It's real to us. No, that was you're
You
right.
can't
though, there's
explain
a-
inside jokes on the show. There's not enough time.
No, there was a. I did have
No,
a,
but
a lot of fun
I
with
did
it.
think that was really funny. And then Morris ends up winning again. I'm like, that poor Hudson guy. Like, he didn't ask for any of this.
I know. It's so funny. Oh, yeah. No, they did a fine job with it. Overall,
And here's
I'm very
the thing, too.
pleased.
If that was intentional, it was really smart and it's really hilarious. So kudos on them. Like, not actually showing Hudson.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right? If that was supposed to be part of the gag,
Yeah.
it lands and it's really funny. Or if it was cut, whoever had cut it was very smart. You know what I mean? But like having him as a static character that we don't actually see just works really well. And whether they thought they were doing it for laughs or just convenience, it really landed. So like it was really smart that they did it that way.
Oh, I agree.
Because like what are they gonna do? Have like Neil McDonough be him? And it's like, well, yeah, of course he's a bad guy. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's
come on.
true.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of restraint in this show, which we're not seeing a lot of. It doesn't have a super bloated cast. Like
Yeah,
you said.
restraint. That's the watchword for this,
Yeah.
which is actually hilarious because we're talking about something that Nicolas Cage is in. You know, but
yes, but he's allowed to be unrestrained.
Where they let like restraint in so much as they knew which dials to turn and when. It was very controlled. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that
Control.
you're absolutely
Restraint and
right.
control.
They didn't yield to some of the proclivities that we see in so much modern media nowadays, and you know, God bless them for it. Frankly, actually, the more and more we're talking about now, that I am going to up my rating because I was originally going to give it a 7 because I said I wouldn't watch it again and I thought it was a little bloated.
Yeah.
But this conversation, I'm realizing, like, you know what, this is trending so much in the right direction. I'm going up to an 8.
You know what I think it is, Dylan, is I think because so much of it was good, the moments that were jarring are now a little more clear in your head, and they seem to like draw the over. Because you know what, like Kat, not my favorite. She has a little too much screen time, but she doesn't have enough screen time to ruin it. It's just, it was one of those things because the show is so measured. You cut to her and you're like, how many sequences of her packing a suitcase do we need?
Right,
After the first time you get caught, how do you not have
a go bag?
Yeah, go
That's
bag.
what we said.
Or
Hey, you
because
should
it's
have
a
go bag.
spider, because it's Spider-Man, a
Just-
bug out bag.
Just
Thank you.
leave.
Just leave.
Yeah.
Just leave. Get new clothes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like stuff like that. But, you know, did she really want to leave? Did she kind of want to wait for, you know, like Marco, you know, like,
No,
of
but
course she did.
Because I'm with you because it's a shame too because it's almost like a wasted potential because she is a good character. The actress was really good.
Yeah.
Like the way she explains to Silvermane why she was running and it was very clever, and then being able to fill Ben in on that too. I'm like, no, like she's a smart, well realized character.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing with the femme
Capable.
fatales is you really need that hook where it's like you can't trust them. But that was
The
the thing is like
duplicitous
I
nature.
just liked her
Yeah.
so much. Like I was just along with her, rooting for her. So you know, it's like, so like you kind of lose that bit of a mystique with
sure
her,
do.
which again, not her fault. She's a very good actress, very attractive. Like classy looking, which I really liked.
Yeah, of the
They
time
they
it
played her
works.
up to be more classy than sexy.
Mhm.
Which is also really refreshing nowadays. It's like letting her be very feminine but still be very strong.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then, of course, as we were saying, the complement of characters is so good. The villains they kind of steal the show for me. Like I said, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the villains. I really had a lot of sympathy and understanding for them, but not in that way where it's like everybody's trying to make their villains sympathetic. Because it's like there's no
yeah.
such thing as villainy. It's just people in tight places. Like no, no, no.
No.
They do some villainous stuff, and they're happy to do some villainous stuff, and but it's like they're still you understand them, and you understand that they're going to be in conflict with the events of the story.
Yes.
And like I did expect a little bit more. Like I kind of thought like Sandman, because they kept saying you're so loyal, you're so loyal, you're so loyal. I was like, he's not going to stay loyal, but no, he kind of does.
He
you know,
does.
he does up until Cat gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, up until it's not tenable anymore.
Yeah,
really,
just and then he's like, oh, I
well,
don't
when
think
he
so.
has to
Yeah.
decide who he's really loyal to at that
yeah.
point.
And it's Cat.
He doesn't even know Silvermane's dead when he does that too, which is important to know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I really liked it.
No, it was good. Yeah, and the guy who played Sandman too was really good because the way they introduce him, you do think he's just going to be like a goon, and then he starts getting
Yeah,
fleshed
no
out.
kidding, yeah.
Right? Yeah, because he just gets introduced as like the muscle.
Yeah.
And then he confronts Riley. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to fight you," and they fight, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. And then like it starts expanding. I was like, oh no, he's actually got a lot more depth. He's a veteran and everything, and it was just a lot of neat ideas there. Oh, shout out to my friend Kevin Caliber. He plays one of the World War I soldiers in the
Hey,
background.
good for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, right. The dude's ripped as hell. Look him up on Instagram. You will not regret it.
I don't have Instagram.
Oh well, that's such as it is.
I don't really use social media.
Who else do I need to shout out while I'm thinking about it?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot more to discuss. Any final thoughts, Dad, on Spider Noir?
No, watch it. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's worth the watch. So
Who's your favorite character in it?
Oh, I have to. I probably Nicolas Cage. I really did like Nicolas Cage. I thought he did a great job all the way through. I mean, he's the main guy, and he pulled off the main guy, and the main guy got the ability to do that. So it worked. But I mean, Silvermane, he was pretty close right there. I mean, he was. I mean, the like you said, the two of them were really good together. So
Yeah, they were.
it worked. A lot of good characters all the way through. So really enjoyed it. It was
All right, Dylan,
refreshing.
there you go.
Well, like I said, my final thoughts. It's very much a piece of like the Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing, which I really dig those movies. I'm looking forward to the third one because the second one's it feels very incomplete. It really does, so I'm really looking forward to the third one to tie that all together. But like this is like a cool standalone. It's its own thing. You don't need to have seen a bajillion movies, which I really like. And my favorite character, probably a twist here, is the secretary. I thought she was wonderful. She was
was good.
funny. She was a well-realized character.
Yep.
And it would have been so easy to do like the cold, sarcastic secretary, but she was played with such warmth and genuine affection to Ben, and it's like like some of her jokes. It's like, my husband has this thing about eating every night. You know what I mean? But like, all like you could tell, like she really like loved him and stuff. And I really appreciated that. I thought she was a very well realized character that could have been a cliche, and they opted not to do it in the best way possible.
I agree with you. Yeah. I also highly recommend it. Watch it. I think if I were to give it a rating, I'm more of like 8.5, almost 9. Somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm a lot more forgiving.
If
of
we're
it.
talking about modern superhero media, this is a 9.5. The only 10 would be the first Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
So yeah, if we're talking just in the vacuum of superhero stuff that's come out in like the past 10, 12, 15 years,
this
is towards the top
for me.
for
This
sure.
goes in between the Phantom and the Shadow, but not as high as the Rocketeer.
Well, it could be as high as the Rocketeer. He has a jetpack.
And he fights on a Zeppelin. My favorite character is Silvermane. I absolutely loved Silvermane. I thought Brendan Gleeson was dynamite. I thought he was hilarious and villainous and just like such a good character. And I thought he was an incredible foil to bounce all these. And he's like, all these characters were so good at bouncing off each other that I don't think you could have composed a bad scene if you tried.
Yeah.
I think there's just so many good characters in this.
Yeah, and the actors to pull it off.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
any one of them could work with the
Yeah.
other. Yeah, there was like no bad frame up at all in that movie. Everyone worked so well together.
I thought it was
Or
incredible.
the show, rather.
I really had a good time, and you know what? For the record, I had 0 beers while watching it, and I was still excited the next day to get out of work. I was like, "Ready to watch Spider-Man?" Like, it really captivated me.
I had 0 beers, but I did have Narragansett Crunch ice cream. That's coffee ice cream with Oreos in it.
Very good.
Well,
Well, before we sign off, we got to tell everyone what we're smoking.
Oh,
That's what the
yeah,
people
that's
are really here
right.
for.
Yeah.
all right, ours is pretty simple. Dad, what are you smoking?
I'm having a Rocky Patel Edge Light.
Ooh,
Oh, I love
So
Rocky Patel. Good
the
pick.
Rocky Patel Edge Light, very good, full
And
body.
what you
kinda-
drinking?
It's a weekday, so it's just a Miller Light.
Living that pensioner
living,
life.
living
Living
a
the
pensioner
pensioner
life.
life.
Pensioner life.
Government beer.
Yep. So it's very good.
Well, and as everyone knows, I'm fond to smoke a pipe every once in a while. This is Kramer English Blend in my Yakono. This is technically a Dublin, is what they would call it. And the Kramer English Blend is advertised as Charlie Bronson's and Leonard Nimoy's favorite tobacco.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
Any
good.
excuse
cool.
to talk about Charlie Bronson,
yeah.
yes.
We'll take it. I'm having what I always essentially have: Miller High Life, Rocky Patel Cargos. They get me through pretty much every season. I love them. I do. This is like my favorite flavor profile. I know we have fancier cigars and stuff like that, but like, especially like during the week, I want something that like, it's like I can have like 2 or 3 without worrying about it, and I can have something that's not going to blow my palate out. So, Rocky Patel's, the Cargos.
Yep.
And then Miller High Life matches
you
the
go.
hat, which I got for my birthday.
There you go.
Mm.
Well, I'll have to go back and see how this worked for live. If anybody watches it, let me know in the comments if it was successful, or I'll take a look at it too, see what
And
it
make
needs.
sure you like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.
Ah.
They don't need to do
And
that. People
also-
are smart enough to make
And
that.
also, I'm going to take a minute to plug my own show.
Oh.
Tune in to Reels of Justice every Thursday. We actually had the Master Chief
Oh.
on an episode
Mm.
with another Navy veteran, our good friend Henry Rausch, I think is how he pronounces it, right?
Oh, boy. You probably should have rehearsed
Yeah.
this.
Probably.
Probably.
He'll appreciate the shout out. Who had just written a book about his 22 years in the submarine service. And I said, I know a guy who spent 22 years at submarines too. So we had them both on the show to talk about K-19. That's the episode I'd want people to go check out.
All right.
All right.
I've been on that show a couple times too.
You have. They're not as good.
All right. Well, that's all the
There
time
you
we
go.
have
No,
today.
No, the weapons episode is good. That's what they should check out.
Yeah, I really did a good job on that one.
Marty Catola said so. There, another shout out.
Hey, Cliff and Marty.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have today. Apologies to Chris Ibicki, who I can see driving up, but we're going to have to bounce in until a future date.
Nah, what
So,
can you do,
sorry,
you know?
Bicky. Till next time. All right. Thanks,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Man, that should end it.